I'm back, guys, and I'm recording this metagame update. What do I say here, man? I have tried to record this video 4 times now. The first 3 times, well, one time I had to re-record because of technical problems. The second time was probably because I was interrupted. Third and fourth time, actually, all the times when I was trying to record this, I realized that after I recorded it, it just what I was saying sounded so negative and so bad that even I wouldn't want to post the videos that I haven't I made this video before and I didn't even upload it. That's how bad. Not bad. I mean, the video was brutally honest, and it was too much for even me to handle that I couldn't even upload, I couldn't even upload it. So, I mean, this alone should tell you the state that the game is in right now, the state that StarCraft 2 is in. The fact that I'm telling you that I've tried to make this video 4 times already, and I've actually dreaded making this, and I've put it off, and I'm gonna try this 5th time, I guess, to make it without it being as bad, or without leaving me feeling so bad after making it, because I have to be honest, and it has to be said. Oh god. StarCraft 2, man. Okay, where are we with the game? What's the meta game? I feel there's so many problems with this game that casters in general, the people casting the game, they're casting games. It's their job to cast games, but I feel like they're not fulfilling one of their other responsibilities, which is to give feedback to Blizzard about the state of the game. Maybe they don't know any better. Maybe some of them don't actually know the game enough, or some of them probably don't even play the game that much anymore, to be honest, and that's okay. But so, where are the patches? First of all, let's talk about that. Where are the patches? There aren't any. This game was, I thought Blizzard, I thought naively that maybe they had learned from their past mistakes with Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Storm. I thought maybe they learned, and they were learning that maybe they should patch more than, maybe patch 2 or 3 times per month, at least every 2 months, maybe at least one patch per month. Come on, at least one patch per month, or even every 2 weeks for issues that are obvious. But instead, they're not patching at all. And I know they're coming out with some content for the Nova Ghost campaign, whatever, etc., whatever. But they're not patching the multiplayer. That's what I'm talking about. I'm specifically talking about the fucking multiplayer. So at this point, I have to wonder, just like you guys, are the balance devs that work at Blizzard completely And once again, I'm just saying, I'm being blunt, honest. Some people may be offended by this or may not like me saying this, but I may be offended. I may offend myself. That's how offensive it may be. But I have to speak the truth here, because I'm the realest motherfucker still playing StarCraft 2 that will say anything, and everybody else is just gonna, they'll let the game die while they collect their paychecks from casting or whatever the hell they do with the game. But, I want the game to not suck. And so, I mean, that's the first thing that I just mentioned, the patches. There's, we need frequent patching. What the... Second thing, the actual balance of the game, the actual meta game. It's in shambles. The game has not been this bad since 2012. I don't give a fuck what anybody tries to... Any Blizzard shill is going to try and sell you the, oh, it's action, exciting, Marine tank every game. Whatever, that's bullshit. I'm going to give it to you real. So, the actual metagame, the state of the metagame. For all 3 races, it's not good. it's terrible to play. It's fucking terrible to play. Part of it might have to do with the map pool. Part of it might have to do with the map pool being so shitty. And some of these maps being like the most all-in-y, gambly. There's like no macro. It's like just gimmicks every game. But part of that is first of all, people may be wondering, is there any race that's imbalanced right now? Not necessarily. I don't think there's a race that... I think that right now there's certain things in the game that are infuriating, fucking infuriating to play against for all three races. And let me go over those. So, first off, Zerg. 8 Armor Ultras, Parasitic Bomb, Mass Ravagers versus everything, and Tier 1 Overlord drops. Those are the things for Zerg that are fucking stupid to play and stupid to play against and need to be tweaked immediately. They need to be patched. Something needs to happen. And I say this as somebody that's been off racing a lot as Zerg. There's a problem with the game, guys, when 99% of Zerg versus Terran games at pro level and on ladder, you can make 100% Ravagers. That unit is absurdly broken. There's something wrong with that unit, stats-wise, or tech-wise. It should be lair tech or something. You should... Some of the Zerg players that are in Masters and GM do not belong to be in Masters or GM. They're literally only there because they're those people in Heart... They were the same players in Heart of the Swarm that would go mass roach all in every game, and they would lose the game because they only made 100% roaches off of 2 bases. Now those same players are God mode. Like, even if those players are bad, now they're doing the same thing, but now they have a roach that turns into a super roach that has a 7-second size storm on cooldown that can also kill buildings. And again, the problem with the Ravager, guys, and it's OP against every race. I've even, you may have, if you check my Twitter, you may have seen some screenshots of like some recent professional Zerg versus Zerg games. Literally 2 blobs of Ravagers fighting each other. It's fucking retarded. And the casters are like, they're not going to say anything. The casters are little bitches. That's the other thing. Casters, I'm calling you out. Stop being little bitches. Not all the casters are little bitches, but they're, and you know who you are. They know who they are. The little bitch casters out there, they know who they are. If this doesn't apply to you, then that's great. But there's some casters out there that, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. You collect your paychecks. That's fine. Collect them, but the game's gonna fucking die because you guys are sucking Blizzard's dick too hard. So start sucking it a little bit less, and maybe get that line of communication going with Blizzard and get them to fix issues like this. 8 Armor Ultras is bad as well. Parasitic Bomb is even... Parasitic Bomb, Ravagers... Oh, and also I forgot Invincible Nidusworm. That's another very infuriating thing to play against because it has no counterplay. And we just saw a pro game last night, won because of that. It was actually a PvZ, but having something that is in your... It's a global ability. First of all, you have to realize a Nidusworm is very powerful because it's a global ability. You just plop it down wherever you have vision. That's global. That's actually inherently strong. The fact that anywhere you have vision, you can make a tunnel network. That's fucking retardedly strong. You couldn't even do that in Command & Conquer General 0 Hour. You had to have a worker, if I remember correctly, build the tunnel exit, if I remember right. So that's ridiculously strong. But then to have it invincible on top of that as it's spawning, and then to have it transfused, and to have no counterplay other than the only counterplay to it, if you can call it counterplay, is you blind counter it every game. And of course that's an issue in itself, because if you blind counter a Nidusworm with like double Liberator and the guy goes mass Ravagers, then you're dead because you built the Liberators, which are countered by the Ravagers, and then it's OP, it's stupid, it's frustrating to play against, no one wants to play against it. Fucking fix it, change it, tweak it, put it back to how it was in Heart of the Swarm, do something. It doesn't matter if balance is 50-50 if you drive people away from the game because you have retarded game mechanics in your game. So fucking fix the Invincible Nidusworm, that's another thing. Let's move on to Protoss. Oh, let's go to Protoss. Protoss, it doesn't even play the ladder anymore. Kappa, let's get that out of the way right now. Protoss has all quit the game. So I never play against Protoss on ladder ever. Is this because they're underpowered? No. I think it's because Zerg is overpowered. I don't think it's because Protoss is underpowered. But the same thing applies here to Protoss. You'll notice this theme that there's some infuriating things in this. Warp Prism pickup range is stupid. That is stupid. Protoss against Terran, to be honest, is actually heavily Protoss favored. There's so many... Pylon Cannon? Pylon Cannon is worse than Nexus Cannon ever was. This shit lets Protoss take a third base with like no units, and they just have 3 pylons at the front of their base, and they auto-win because they're on 3 bases against 2, and they have like... They get up to like 160 supply, and the Terran's like, you know, at 110, just... The Terran is now... Even if you play Bio, you just have to sit there and mass Liberators, and I'll get to that. I'll get to the mass Liberators when I get to Terran. But yeah, Protoss, the Adept Shades are frustrating as fuck to play against. It's not fun to play against. That's another thing. Like, this game has to be fun for people to play. It may be fun to watch, kind of, but when you literally know that this guy, like, if you're playing the game, it's not fun having these, like, the cooldown on that thing needs to be increased a lot. I would say on the Adept Shade, you shouldn't be able to keep shading every, what, like 7 seconds? It should have to be a choice you make that, like, you decided to send the Adept Shade in, and then you decided to let them go in the base. That should be an impactful decision, not not a thing like, oh, you send the Shades in, free scout every, like, 7 to 10 seconds or something. That's stupid. Or you can cancel it every 7 to 10 seconds so you can have them here attacking, killing workers. The Shades go in the main, you have to follow the Shades, then he just doesn't do the Shades. I don't know, that unit is frustrating. Warp Prism pickup range needs to be decreased, that's frustrating. Mass, Tempest, and Carrier is ridiculous. Tempests actually need a supply change. They're only 4 supply, same as a Void Ray, too strong. Needs a supply change. Tempests need to be 6 or 8 supply. Needs to be changed. They're ridiculous. It's ridiculous that Protoss ends up massing that unit late game that has 15 range from across. It's stupid. And so where does that leave Protoss if those things get nerfed? I think it's a matter of... I think, honestly, Protoss is in a good place, except that Zerg is retardedly OP. Like, Ravagers, Tier 1 Overlord drop fucks over Protoss a lot as well. Tier 1 Overlord drop needs to go. That's another... Zerg has so many... You'll notice all the things that are a problem aren't really Protoss or Terran. They all stem from Zerg. Parasitic Bomb, 8 Armor Ultras, Tier 1 Overlord drop. Fucking stupid. Infuriate... Like, Invincible Nidus Worm, Mass Rev... Everything that's fucking stupid in this game happens to be Zerg, because Zerg... Everything Zerg got buffed. Like, Zerg got so many ridiculous buffs in Legacy of the Void. And, once again, I can say that as a fucking Masters level Zerg player. I'm about to get my Zerg account into Grandmasters, and I can say that Zerg is fucking, like... It's fun to play, only in the sense that you get that ego boost when you play Zerg because you're winning a lot of games that you don't deserve to win. And I can say this for a fact because I'm beating Masters and GM level Terrans by making 100% Ravagers. That should not be possible. That's fucking stupid. It's fucking dumb. So I think Protoss players will be happy to hear, my analysis that I don't think Protoss necessarily needs many changes. I do think Pylon Cannon is stupid and should go, and I do think that Adepts are dumb and Warp Prisms should get a slight nerf, but I also think that a lot of Protoss issues will be resolved when Zerg gets like, Zerg honestly is the issue here. It's not Protoss and it's not Terran. Although, I will say Immortals are actually really strong too. And most people know that now. Immortals are actually pretty good, pretty OP. Anyways, let's get to Terra now. So, okay, so let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way right now. Terran is fucking retarded to play on ladder. This is why I've been off racing so much on my stream. And I know everybody wants to see me play Mech, but guess what? Blizzard completely, purposely killed it. They're taking too long to patch. So Mech is infuriating. It's infuriating to try and play Mech on the ladder, let alone you're never going to see Mech in a pro game ever. because pro gamers' career, they have to make money, and they can't playing Mech in a pro game because Mech is so fucking bad right now. Playing Mech in a pro game, the reason you're never gonna see it is because it's that bad that you're basically just you're throwing the game by going Mech. It's actually gotten that bad that if you ever see a Korean pro go Mech in a pro game, guys, like Blizzard needs to. This is why they need to be patching the game. So that's the first thing with Terran. It's infuriating that Mech fucking sucks right now, and that it was purposely made to suck by the Legacy of the Void economy changing. Tank evac. Okay, let's talk. I talked about a little bit about the Zerg and Protoss things that are stupid and frustrating to play against. Zerg has the most. Protoss has maybe the second most. Terran does have some idiotic. Let me get this out of the way. Reaper grenades. Why the fuck is this thing in the game? Honestly, why is Reaper Grenade in the game? It is one of the dumbest abilities I have ever fucking seen in an RTS game. It is literally a free ability they added to the Reaper. And all it does is make early game more coin flippy and gambly and snowbally. Because you'll notice, for example, every single TVT, you gotta go Reaper opener. You gotta have Reapers that somehow in your opener. Unless you're blind countering the Reaper meta and you're going like straight up to a tank or something or a Cyclone. But even then, you have to understand like the Reapers are so impactful and bullshit in early game that if you can like meta that, but it's all coin flippy blind countering nonsense. So Reapers are so dumb. Why do they have the grenade? Please. Like, I wish they would just remove that so that a lot of the randomness of Terran early game would be gone. And I guess the other races would probably be happy with that too, because the stupid grenade, like, Reapers were annoying enough to deal with, but then the fact that your opponent can, like, possibly mask them and just have it's dumb, and it's not exciting. It's just coin flippy. Maybe it's fun for spectators to watch the things bounce around or whatever, but as a player, it's really, really bad for the game. They could change the ability. They could make it they could add a different ability, like a Reaper put an upgrade in the game on the tech lab for like factory prereq. Maybe make it so Reapers get like 3 bombs that they can plant on buildings, and then if the opponent doesn't, like something like that. That sounds cool, but just giving them the free grenade that's on cooldown is a little dumb in my opinion. Second thing, tank evac. This unit was not removed because fucking GSL commentators, not going to name any names out there. We all know who they are. GSL commentators basically fucking lobbied Blizzard to keep the tank evac bullshit in the game. And that's why Terran gameplay has gone to utter shit, because of this unit. And that's why they won't, but they went back, they backtracked on actually buffing siege tanks because they kept the shitty tank evac in the game. No one likes the tank evac. No one does. No one likes this unit. The only people that like this are like maybe people that don't actually play the game. So that would be the GSL commentators. Oh shit! So of course those guys like it because they think it's fun and action packed. Although I made a video about this before that the only reason they even liked it in the first place is because they liked the feeling of something new. They didn't actually like the tank evac. Tank evacs are fucking stupid and retarded to play against. And they're really annoying, but like it's just David Kim, Blizzard, they tried to make the tank into a bio unit, a hypermobile unit, by allowing it to move around and be hypermobile, essentially a bio unit, which is why every single game is Marine Tank now. So yeah, tank evacs, that shit needs to go. That's annoying to play against. Every single TVT at the moment is tank evac Marine, and it's not fun to... it may be fun right now, but when 99% of TVTs are just Marine tank only, you can tell spectators, people that watch the game, viewers, you guys, you're probably every single TVT you're hoping, you're like, I hope he goes mech, I hope he does something different, there's got to be something different than just Marine tank. Nope, just going Marine tank evac again. It's fucking dumb. Alright, third thing for Terran that is very annoying right now and frustrating. Terran has no late game units. What do I mean by that? So the Raven got nerfed, and sorry, I have to preface this with only the Liberator. The Liberator is now the only thing Terran has that can do anything at all. Like, the entire Terran race is pinned on one unit. Which doesn't make any sense. So, if a Zerg or a Protoss goes for that super late game bullshit sky army that no one wants to ever play against, guess what you have to do? You have to sit there and click the Liberator icon. Because Vikings suck due to carriers being buffed. Carriers are buffed, Tempest are OP as fuck, and Parasitic Bomb makes Vikings completely trash and useless. So the only unit you can make late game are Ghosts and Liberators. And Ghosts aren't even reliable. The snipes don't even go off half the time because they can get cancelled. So, yeah, Terran, you just mass Liberators. If the game goes past the 10-minute mark, guess what you're doing, buddy? You're massing Liberators, because there's no other unit in the game you can make that can fight your opponent's army late game. Nothing. You just mass Liberators. We even saw, once again, same Pro League last night, we saw mass bullshit Liberator, Viking, Ghost game against Leenock, who made, well, Leenock threw the game because he only made 3 Vipers instead of making like 10 to 15. And he could have had 10 to 15 Vipers, but he's fucking, he's bad. And so Morrow won the game. But, yeah, like, I think there's a problem with Terran anti-air in the game, in general, in StarCraft 2, is not strong. Hydras, Thors, Cyclones, Stalkers. Anti-air is not really too strong. And anti-air should be a lot stronger. Thors, Cyclones should be stronger. Hydralisk should be stronger against air. Because that's the other problem. Like, so Liberators completely killed Mech as well in TBT. That's part of why, you can't go Mech unless you turtle into Mass Raven Viking against the Liberators or whatever. But yeah, this unit, I mean, I'm sure Zergs and Protosses love complaining about Liberators, but and rightfully so, because it's overpowered as fuck. But the thing is, so once again, here's the issue. The entire Terran race, only, like, the Liberator is the only unit the Terran has that's like a high-tech unit that can do anything. Like, if you look at every other Terran unit that is past Marine Marauder, tanks suck, Thors suck. Maru actually killed his own Thor yesterday to make 2 more Liberators. I'm not even fucking exaggerating. In a pro game, on a pro game that was broadcast, he killed his own Thor with Hellbats. I saw the Hellbats kill it, and then he made 2 more Liberators because even Maru knows that Thor is utterly fucking. It's a useless 6 supply. That 6 supply is better invested into Liberators to counter air, because Thors don't do shit against air. Their missile does not do. Broodlords, Carriers, Tempests, Liberators don't. The Thor doesn't do jack. It's like the Thor tickles them. It doesn't do anything to them. The Thor should be something scary for air units. If air units get near Thor and the Thor fires its volley, it should be able to kill those air units. So, and battlecruisers of course suck, and Ravens do too. So let's get to I'm trying to think. Liberators, it's all Terran has. I mean, the whole Terran race is pinned on that unit right now. So that was a lot. So that's pretty infuriating. Like, I think right now the overall metagame for all 3 races is pretty shit. compared to Heart of the Swarm. I played some Heart of the Swarm games. I actually played some Heart of the Swarm games yesterday, and even though I played some guy that like sniped me he was like the only person on the Heart of the Swarm ladder at the time. The game Heart of the Swarm, the flow, or the maybe not the flow, but the game actually felt way better. Maybe that's because I was playing Mech and you could actually play Mech, but yeah, I don't know. Legacy of the Void, I think, is something that it's going to wear off on people once they realize that 99% of the games are marine. I can literally, you know what? Anyone watching this video right now, I'm going to give you a challenge. Here's my challenge to you. To you guys in the future that are watching this video. My challenge to you guys. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in whatever next professional game that you see, whatever broadcasted game you see. If you, my friend, if you're watching a Zerg versus Zerg game, guess what? It's Lingbane and Mass Ravagers. If you are watching a professional Terran versus Zerg game, guess what the Zerg is doing in the game that you're watching right now in the future? The Zerg player is making Roach Ravagers. 100, like, all Roach Ravager into Infestors into Hive Tech. Well, what do you know? How did I know that? Well, you'll see. And TVP, what is happening in TVP? Protoss is proxying an Oracle as usual, making pylons under the ramp. Oh, that's the other thing. Offensive pylon cannon is another frustrating thing that should not be in this game. But yeah, in the future, in TVP, you know, Terran sitting in his base, Protoss just massing Adepts and Gateway Units, Blink Stalkers, and Immortals. Against the Terran player who is, you know, just got on his 3 bases and is making Marine Marauders, Ghosts, and starting to add in Liberators, and then the Protoss adds in Tempest, same thing every game. PvZ, what is happening? Well, if you're watching ZVP right now, the Protoss is probably going double Gateway Adept into Stargate, into a third base with pylons at the front, and the Zerg player is doing whatever the fuck he wants because he's playing Zerg, and Zerg is actually, out of all 3 races, I would say the OP race by far out of all the races. So he's probably doing some Ling drops, Baneling drops, he can mass Ravager Ling all in, or he's just playing, you know, Lurker, Hydra, Roach. Zerg can do so much stuff at the moment. But anyways, I guess that's it for this video. To leave on a positive note, I think Blizzard needs to patch the game. I've said this in like 5,000 other videos that I've made. Oh, and it gets so tiring saying it, but you know what? What are the patches, man? Like, this game can be so great. We can make this game great again. It can be great. But they have to patch more often. That's all there is to it. It's so simple. And it's, you know, I really hope that they make Mech viable. Otherwise, I might be switching to Zerg. I might be switching races to Zerg. I don't know, man, because this game. This game, man. Anyways, I guess that's it for this metagame update. Trying to think. Yeah, the game is just frustrating to play right now, especially if you play Terran. I think if you play Zerg, you're probably not going to be too frustrated. The only thing that will frustrate you if you're playing Zerg right now is the amount of Zerg versus Zerg games that you're probably getting. That's probably the only thing that's going to frustrate you if you're a Zerg player. Otherwise, you're probably like swimming in a pool of dollar bills right now from all your tournament wins. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody.